So, I've reread every panel that Itoshi Sae is shown in order to construct a theory for you guys. Stick around till the end, as I'm going to explain a theory that will blow y'all's minds. But before we dive into all the reasons why he would be joining the U20 team, we'd have to know the position he came from. So, in the reporter's conversation with Itoshi Sae, he told him that up until recently he was playing with the youth team associated with Real Madrid. But that because of the regulations he couldn't play in a top team, so he asked him if he would want to play in a league like Japan. And much to his surprise, Sae's response wasn't that amazing, as he said that he'd rather drop dead than to play in loges like that. And it's especially this panel that we see Itoshi Sae's true colors. The reporter asks him if he would want to represent the Japanese national team someday. Therefore, he said that he isn't interested in the slightest, and that he can never become the best player in the world if he were to play in a country like Japan. He claims that there is no forward who could receive his passes from the midfield, and that he was born in the wrong country. But that was only up until he walked to the press room, as he saw Henri and Igo Jinpachi talk about the new Blue Lock project. They were talking about how they will revolutionize Japanese football and win the World Cup with one leading striker in the midst of it all. And that right there was the turning point for Itoshi Sae as he gets all exited and wants to see what kind of strikers would be produced out of this. So we all know that Itoshi Sae looks down upon the U20 team before the Neo-Egoist League, right? We can all clearly see that Itoshi Sae looks down upon the U20 players, so why in the world did he participate in the match? Well, we get an answer to that cause. In the next chapter, Aiku asks Itoshi Sae a question, and that question is what the correct Itoshi Sae could bring to the U20 team. And Sae's reaction to that was that actually he is testing the team. But that still doesn't explain the full picture, cause why on earth would Sae test the U20 team? Well, after Itoshi Sae reacts to Sendao's miss by saying that someone with a worse scoring capability than him isn't worthy of being called a striker. He explains that the point of the match is to find out if there's actually someone out there who is good enough for his passes. Now, I can't see a reason for him to do this other than, say, considering to play for the national team in the upcoming U20 World Cup. And that also explains why Itoshi Sae went as far as to strike a deal with the president of the Japanese Football Union, to make sure that Shido Ryusei was playing alongside him. Heck, he even tried to help and give instructions to Shido when they were about to do a kickoff in the match against Blue Lock. But now you might be thinking, even if he did join, isn't Ryo Mikage going to be the main center within the U20 team? As he has been evolving quite a lot, both in the match against the former Japanese U20 team and in the Neo-Egoist League. He has added a lot more copies to his tally, improved his stats, and he has even got Metavision now. So why would Ryo Mikage even need a replacement in the first place? Would there be any need for Itoshi Sae? Well, one of the main reasons why despite all of this he wouldn't be able to be a replacement for Itoshi Sae is because he is limiting himself to be Nagi Seishiro's right-hand man. And if Nagi is not a major part of the offense, there's no telling if Ryo Mikage would be able to take full advantage of his abilities as he was in the match against the former U20 team as well as in the Manshine City match. So this just makes Ryo Mikage a worse version of Itoshi Sae. If Igo Jinpachi gets the chance to have Itoshi Sae in the new formed U20 team, he wouldn't let that chance slip in a million years. Ryo Mikage could obviously be in the midfield as well alongside Hiyori or something, but Itoshi Sae would definitely be the center of it all. So remember when I said that Itoshi Sae was participating in the U20 match to see if there would be any strikers good and worthy enough to receive his passes. The person he's most interested in right now is probably Isagi Yoichi, because after he scored the deciding goal in the match against the former U20 team, he told Rin that he was wrong about Japan not being able to bring birth to any decent strikers. The one that managed to call forth Rin's instincts, the one who is going to change Japanese football, is Isagi Yoichi, an egoist that has what it takes to make that change. Isagi's game sense coupled with his power to adapt to any situation that comes in front of him, as he has shown time and time again. Those qualities have probably spiked Itoshi Sae's interest. And I'm certain that Itoshi Sae is keeping touch with Isagi indirectly till this day, through Blue Lock TV. since he can literally just purchase a subscription just like everyone else to follow the matches, his newfound metavision, his new philosophy he's got from Noel Noah, and his refinement in his scoring abilities, adding the lefty shot to his repertoire as well. Probably has gotten Itoshi Sae even more interested than he previously was in the match he had against Blue Lock. And finally, let me tell you an interesting theory that connects all of this together, which could make you completely convinced that Itoshi Sae is going to join the Japanese team in the U20 World Cup. So in case you all didn't know this already, Blue Lock puts heavy emphasis on numerical meaning. For example, Shido was called a joker by Ego Jinpachi during the preparations before the match against the former national team. At that time, Shido was wearing the jersey number 13. And interesting enough, when Shido left Blue Lock to play with the national team, both ended up wearing number 13 in their next appearances on the pitch. Now you might be thinking, okay, this is all nice and stuff, but how could this have anything to do with Itoshi Sae joining Japan for the next World Cup? Well, I'm glad you asked. So, Itoshi Rin switched from wearing number 10 in the U20 game to wearing number 9 in PXG. And Isagi has pretty much always stuck with the number 11 jersey, so as a result, this leaves jersey number 10 completely open. And guess who is most heavily associated with number 10? It's Itoshi Sae. Now this may sound a bit far-fetched, but the mangaka of the Blue Lock series has always been into this sort of thing throughout the entire series so far. Plus, narratively it makes sense as well. You see, Isagi has made the switch to play more of a striker role rather than a playmaking role. Now, Hiyori's plays and passes could be compared to a lesser version of Itoshi Sae's. And since Itoshi Rin is looking to become something entirely different in order to crush his older brother Itoshi Sae and Isagi Yoichi, this leaves an obvious gap in the national team's formation, which is the playmaker role, especially if Japan's future team has to go up against world-class players from all over the world, which they will. Thank you so much for watching the way to the end. If you made it, consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel. I'm out. Peace.